I am the owner and mind behind Back Porch Fiber Co. Thanks for joining me today, and let's see, it is Wednesday after Christmas. I don't know what the date is, maybe the 28th. Kind of been a whirlwind, but I wanted to pop on and share with you guys some plans that I have for January. So I have so many whips that I have been working, like they've just been sitting for a long time. Some are older than others. Some are probably about a year old. So I feel like I just need this reset. So for January, I have committed to not casting on any more projects and just finishing all or as many projects as I can for January. I would love for you guys to join me in this adventure. Let me know. I'll create a hashtag on Instagram so that you guys can share with me the progress that you guys are making. So the plan is to, throughout January, once a week, share with you guys the progress that I'm making on my whips, if I've gotten any done. And some are so close to being done. Like, it really wouldn't take me very much time at all to work through some of these. They've just been sitting for whatever reason. And I think, unless you're like a monogamous knitter, I just kind of think that that's how it is for us knitters. We just, it's that squirrel mentality, from the movie Up. You see something, you see a picture of a pattern that you want to do, or you see this yarn, you're like, oh, I'm just going to cast this on. And then all the other projects just sit. So my plan for January, just finish as much as I possibly can and kind of give my whips a restart. So let's get started. This is in no particular order because I'm just not that organized, but I'm going to start right here because this to me is the most ridiculous whip that I have. So I have ends to weave in on this sock here. It's just a vanilla sock. The yarn is from Knotty Pine Fiber Co. And this bluish gray, I kind of thought it was more gray when I originally started with it, but it definitely has like a blue undertone to it. It's just something that I had in my stash. And these socks are for my husband. So I literally have ends to weave in on this one. And then on the second sock, I have the ends to weave in and the toe. Like, how ridiculous is this? That it's just not done by now, right? That's whip number one. And really, all of this should take me no more than an hour to do, and it would just be done. I don't know why. It's just sitting. So I wanted to share with you guys too, I have this reinforcement thread. I think it's Lang reinforcement thread. And my husband is a little bit hard on the toes of his socks. He loves my hand knit socks. He is like the most knit worthy person ever. So, but I want his socks to last. So for the toe, like just the very edge of the toe and the heel, I will use the reinforcement thread on that. So super, like, why, right? Why is this a whip? But it is. So that's number one. Number two, again, why? This is a Purl Soho hat, and I'm dropping a couple stitches here, but I'll get them. Look, there I'm at. So I started this project with a young gal that I've been teaching how to knit, and I just thought it would be fun to be working on a project together. So this, look at how messy this is, because I think I've just moved it around so many times. I should really just put this in a nice, neat ball of yarn. But then at this point, I guess that would probably be pretty tricky to do anyways. But yeah, this is like it's a Purl Soho free pattern, super easy. Again, like, why haven't I just finished it? Because I get sidetracked. So that is whip number two. I'm just gonna, wind this up really quick because why not? It'll make it more enticing than this big giant ball of strings. So whip number two, again, maybe 2 hours, maybe max. So easy. And I kind of think that like I might just work on these whips like the least amount that is required. Like, you know, those socks, if it would take me an hour and then I can get that whip out of my whip stash, and then the hat, get that out of my whip stash, I feel like that might motivate me, you know, like, I don't know, like just like a snowball effect. Like you just keep going and going and going and going. And like the more success that you have at the beginning, the easier it is to power through some of those different items. Okay, so this is another one. And I do actually, I understand why this one is still a whip. So this is a mitt. These are the Ossify mitts. And I'm using the Blutelope yarn held double. The reason that these are not done yet is because they kind of hurt my hands to knit on. The cable work and everything, it's just a little bit tricky. And I kind of think that maybe this broke. I mean, it doesn't matter because you can just, you know, rub it together. But I don't know why the rest of it is not attached. But okay, for some reason I have these in here. I don't even know. Like, this is how long it's been since I've worked with this. So my friend Annie gave me this yarn because I wanted to try it out. It is really scratchy on me. It's not something that I enjoy. Like, I kind of enjoy the working with it, but I don't think I would enjoy wearing these. But these are actually for my niece who lives up in Canada. I want to give them to her in January. We're going up there in the month of January, and I just think that like she would love these because it's so cold up there. So this is where I'm at. I've not started the second one. So this one's gonna take a little bit more time, but I do think that this is one of those that like, if I could just work on at like 20 minutes at a time, I think I would get through them pretty quick. Cause like, look at how big those stitches are. It shouldn't take very long. So that is number 3. So silly. Okay. Number 4. We're gonna go over here. Number 4 is one that I've had on the needles for quite some time, and it started out as a Scrappy project, or I'm gonna say on the hook, because it's a crochet project. So I could probably be done anytime I wanted, but I do kind of want like this oversized, like just wrap around shawl. So this is where I'm at. And it is scrappy for sure. But I have limited myself to do either like 2 or 3 rows per color. And there's no rhyme or reason to the 2 or 3, but like if I have enough yarn, I typically do 3. I'm kind of at the point now like where any scraps are only 2 rows. And if I don't have enough to do 2 rows of one, then I just kind of pass on that yarn. So I think I'm at like right around 10 grams for 2 rows on my blanket. And I know that might sound silly to like plan it out, like how many grams do I need, but because it's scrappy, but a little bit organized scrappy, that's just kind of where we're at. So I mean, I have yarn in here to work on. I've got all kinds of stuff in my cute little bag, but yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at. So that is another project. I don't think that it's going to take very long. I think I've become like very proficient at crocheting now from when I very first started. So I do think that like I could probably knock that one out pretty quickly. I don't know. And that there's no pattern to that one. It is oh, I forget the name of this stitch. But I think it's just a lot of single crochets. I can't remember what was like so different about this other than single crochets, but it's like this, it's like a seed stitch or something. I'm not so sure. I don't know why that wouldn't just be single crochet now that I'm like kind of learning about things, but anyways, that's what that is. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out where those go to. All right, so that's number 4. Sorry, okay, sidetracked. Okay, let's go here. In my cute little bag here. Whew, this one needs a minute. So this project here is, it's a version of the painting sweater. I've made some modifications to it, but this has kind of been the project from you know where. I love this yarn. I love this sweater because it's kind of like just a lightweight, like not super oversized, but like a little bit baggy sweater, right? And some positive ease in this sweater. So here's my issue with this, is that if you've been following me for any length of time, you will have heard me mention that we have carpet beetles right now. And I think we've had them for some time. And it's something that like you don't really see. They're so like little tiny that, I mean, I'm sure that like most people have some sort of little something, you know, kind of all the time. But they love natural fibers. I think like the protein-based fibers, I'm not sure. And for whatever reason, this yarn has been like infested. So I have this, I think is like my 1 skein of yarn. So I got 3 skeins of this yarn, and this is one that was not affected at all. But I had my other 2 skeins just had been eaten through in all these little places. I've thrown away so much of the yarn, and I'm kind of just ready to be done with this project. So what I've decided is to try to salvage this project. I'm going to make it a little bit more cropped. So I'm probably going to end it pretty soon here. And then I'm going to do short sleeves. Not quite sure how to do that yet because I haven't really ever worked with short sleeves, but I'm going to figure it out just so that I can be done with this. I don't want to waste it. I feel like I've worked hard on it. The yarn is beautiful. It's a woolberry, like part of her 2020 maybe, like a summer adventure, like road trip kind of thing. And I love it, but every time I pick this up, I just like get tense and frustrated, but I need to get it off my needles because I just need to get it out of my brain, and I'm not willing to frog it yet. So we'll see. So, and I've figured out some ways to get rid of the carpet beetles on that note too. We've been spraying things with vinegar. That's supposed to help, just keeping things like no dust, moving furniture, because they like to go where people are basically. So, you know what? I'm gonna go grab a project because this is a project that kind of it's done, but it's not done because of the carpet beetles. So I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so I don't even know where it is anymore. I know it's on a pink color. I feel like I kind of isolated it, but maybe not enough. There we go. So this made me so sad. So this was on the back of our couch. And these things, like, they'll go after, like, if you have natural fibers in your couches or clothes or whatever, right? It's not just yarn. So I'm pretty sure that this hole here is a result of the carpet beetles. Oh, I'm just trying not to like make this any bigger, but I hope you can see that. So I just recently came across a video on how to fix this. Like, I just kind of had to set it down, and I've sprayed it with vinegar, so like hopefully if there were any other ones, they're no longer. But okay, so just recently came across a video on how to fix this, and so I'm just going to use a similar yarn and fix this up, but this is kind of like in that whip pile because it's taking up brain space, knowing that I need to address it. I can't just leave it. I have to address it. But I'm feeling confident now that I saw that video on how to fix it. Feeling good about it. So there's that. I'm gonna put that one up there because I just don't want it on the ground. Okay. Let's see. What's next? In this little bag here. Okay, this is a crochet project, and actually it's a pretty new whip, but this is legs and arms and a body. This is going to be a bunny rabbit. So I don't think that this will take me very much longer. This is from the book Edward's Menagerie, and I think it's like maybe her second edition or something. I'm not totally sure, but I found that book at my library, and the library book is definitely way overdue. But I should probably finish that one pretty quick. See, I just want to, like, all of these, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that one first. No, wait, I'll do this one first. No, wait, I'll do this one first. It's a little bit crazy. So there we go. That's where we're at with that one. Okay. What number is that? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think. I don't even know. Okay. Next one is housed in my big basket here. And okay, so this one here started out as a year-long knit-along, and there were a few reasons why I decided to stop and the year-long knit-along. So it's supposed to be like 12 skeins of yarn, and you make these triangles, and then you put them together to make this square blanket. I loved it. Like, when I saw it in the store, I loved it. And so, like, yes, I have to do this knit along. This is phenomenal. It's so great. There were a lot of issues along the way with it, and I definitely lost my motivation. I actually stopped getting the yarn as well. I decided just to stop the subscription. So instead of doing 4 triangles, I have enough to do 2 triangles together, and I'm just gonna make it, so it'll basically be like one big triangle, I think. I think that's how it'll work. I'm not totally sure. If not, I don't know. But, so I have this. I have this. So this is like the second color, or the second one. And then this is the last color that I need to put on right here. So it'll go like on top of this. So I stopped at like month 5, and then this is month 6. All right, so again, not going to get into the reasons why I stopped, but regardless, I feel like I can get this to a spot where the yarn won't be wasted, and I think it'll be good. So I think if I don't know, like, I need to look at the pattern. I don't even have it here in my basket. That's kind of like how unmotivated I've been to work on this project. But anyways, it's another one I need to work on. I forget the name of the blanket as well, but the yarn is Earth Yarns. It is pretty. It's a very pretty. It's kind of like a washed kind of feel to it. Anyways, so that's another one. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, this one, again, I don't think I have very far to go on this one. This is a tank top. It looks so little, huh? But look at it, actually like spreads. I don't want to get my needles off here, but it spreads. So it's just a super cute little tank top. Here's my yarn that I have left for it. And I don't think I have enough to do all of it. Because you also put like some sort of edging around the armholes and the neckline. So I had this yarn here in my stash, and so I'm actually going to do a couple stripes down here at the bottom and work that in just to give me a little bit more length so it's not as cropped. But either way, like that's where that one is. And like I probably have, I mean, this is probably like 40 grams of yarn to knit through. That's not very much. And this one has definitely been on my needles for a very, very long time. So silly. Okay, I have two more. This one is actually a pretty recent project. I started this one when I went to visit my friend Annie from Knits and Burls. So I started this one like November 1st. Oh my gosh, it's so soft, you guys. Like, see, then I'm gonna want to just finish this one because it just so soft. But this one is like, I'm probably the most motivated to finish this one because it's not an old whip. So I'm gonna just have to like make this one of the last ones that I finish. But it's a colorwork sweater. The sleeves are done. That's right, you heard me. The sleeves are done. It is worked bottom up. It's a Jennifer Steingas pattern, and I don't have the name of it. I think when I printed it, like I didn't print the front page because it was heavy, like it was a whole photo, and so I just didn't want to waste the ink. But okay, that's what it looks like. So again, I have the sleeves done. I have most of the body done. I am like almost there to put it all together and do the yoke and the collar and done. So I know that this is not going to take me that much time to do. And the color work is just really fun to work. So I think I'm pretty good. Like I'm not worried about finishing this one at all. I'm really excited about that one actually. But yet it is still a looming work in progress. All right, and my very last one is the most recent project, and it's kind of one that I'm still working on in December, but I think I might take a break in December to work on all this other stuff. Or it'll be something that I work on when I'm just a little bit maybe flustered. Oh, and look at this. This is like not even ready to show you guys. All right, so I'm gonna try to get to an end here. And I'm going to talk about this. So this here is from my Advent calendar. I bought the Advent calendar from Knotty Pine Fiber Co. If you've been following me or following my Vlogmas, you've seen me opening up day to day every color of this beautiful Advent fade. So I've done blankets like every year for Advent, and I love doing blankets, but I typically will hold my yarn double. So it's more like a DK worsted weight yarn. And I will bring in like a neutral color, which is what I did with this one here. There's like a neutral color all throughout the blanket. And I will, it's a lot of knitting. Like, I mean, it's a lot. And I just didn't want to stress this year. I wanted a little bit easier of a project, a little bit less yarn to work on. So what I did is I took the Advent yarn and I'm holding the Advent yarn double without adding like that neutral color. So these are all like her colors, right? Like there's no added anything. And so if I'm working on like a cake of yarn, a little, 20 gram cake of yarn, I'll pull from the middle and from the outside and hold it double. So it's nice and thick. This is my own pattern. It's basically like a big wrap. I'm calling it right now for the time being like a campfire wrap. But what I was thinking in designing this pattern is that like oftentimes when you have like a back-sized blanket and you're wrapping it around your shoulders, the center back area often will go up, right? Because it's coming up and over your shoulders. So I did some short row shaping just in the center of your back, and which will help to give it that extra length in the back of the wrap. And I'm hoping like when I was doing my calculations at the beginning, it seemed like it was going to be long enough, and I really hope that it is. I still have, I think I'm on, I can't remember, but I have, I think about 10, maybe 9.5 now after working on this color here. 9.5, 10, 20 gram little balls of yarn. So, but I want to get to the end of this project. So I did an I-cord edging on this project, and I will do, or just on the cast on, I did an I-cord cast on, and I'm going to do an I-cord cast off as well. And then on the sides, I didn't want to do the I-cord on the side, but instead I just did a slip stitch on the sides. So it's giving it a really nice edge. So there's the short row shaping, the I-cord at top and bottom, the slip stitch edge, which just makes it look so nice and clean. And then after that though, it's garter. So what I love about this project is that all your short row shaping is done at the beginning. So typically for me, in December, the beginning of December is a little bit slower for us. But then as we get closer and closer to Christmas, because we host and have family from out of town staying with us on and off, because of that, I don't have as much knitting time or like concentration knitting time as I get closer to Christmas. So all of your short row shaping is done at the very beginning when you typically have a little bit more time in December. And then like from here on out, it is only garter stitch and then that slip stitch edge, which is a no-brainer as well once you learn how to do it. And then I just figure, you know, you could go slow with the I-cord edging, and I may use her 50 or her 100 gram skein, like the day 25 100 gram skein, to do my last couple rows and then to do the I-cord bind off, because it does take a lot of yarn and I don't want that to take away from the length. So, but I feel like this is a very universal project. You could make it as long or as short as you want. You can fade, you could do like a 5-color fade, you could do an Advent fade or not fade at all, just Scrappy. You could also make this just a solid color as well. All right, here we go. Finally at the end. And I'm working with magic knots, so there's not even any ends to weave in really. So here's like the center of it, right there. And then like these are the edges. So here's where I'm at now. And so it's the center is about 1/3 of the blanket. So there we go. But it'll be a shorter blanket. So probably, I'm guessing about here. Not totally sure yet, and I think like once you block it, it'll stretch out a little bit more. Okay, and can we just like give a shout out to my son who bought this for me for Christmas? This was like the gift that made me literally cry. Like, once somebody else starts calling your company, like he had these custom made for me. I don't know, like it's hard to explain, but like I opened it up and I saw my company initials there, and it just felt like somebody else recognizes all the hard work that I've put in. Super sweet. Like it just literally brought me to tears. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have words. It's just so sweet. But anyways, so this is my last whip. This is my yarn. So in cleaning up for Christmas, I'm like, I need to get all Christmas put away. It's done. And I had all these little mini skeins, and so I doubled them up. And there's my cake of yarn here. It kind of reminds me of like those beautiful like rocks that, yeah, I don't even know what you call them, but like where you open it up and there's all these like beautiful like gems or amethysts and stuff inside. I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me of that, like all the different layers of rocks and colors. But yeah, anyway, so this is like what I have left. And then again, I think I might add in her day 25 color, to do a few rows and then bind off. I'm not totally sure yet. I love this yarn, you guys. It's so pretty. So that's my final one. Okay. Recap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't believe I'm in double digits. 10. And 11. Oh my gosh. That puts things into perspective, you guys. 11 projects. Whew. I cannot even. So I will be sharing with you guys all my progress on these throughout the month of January. You guys can start making guesses on to how many I will get done. What can I get done? Like how many less can I make of this pile here? Like from 11 down to what? What do you guys think? Put your comment, put your number down in the comments below of how many whips you think I will finish at the end. Yeah. This is a little bit crazy. I definitely encourage you guys to join in on this with me. I would love to see how you guys are going to clean out your whips as well. And if you're a monogamous knitter and you just have like that 1 or 2 projects going at a time, my hat's off to you. Like that's amazing. And like this here kind of brings a stress for me. I could have like 4 or 5 projects going, you know, like maybe a sock and a sweater and a blanket and maybe a crochet project, something like that. Like I don't mind not being a monogamous knitter, but this has just, for me and how my brain works, has just gotten a little bit out of control. Like I look at this and I just feel overwhelmed. But having a plan definitely helps. And I do think that like if I can knock out some of these little guys here, that'll give me some motivation. Like if I'm getting that number down quickly, that maybe that'll give me some motivation to keep going. We will see. So weekly vlogs, I don't have those scheduled out yet, but I'm hoping to maybe film, I think like Tuesdays are actually really great days for me to film going into the new year. So hopefully Tuesdays, Wednesdays, you guys will get a glimpse into my whip reset. Thanks you guys for joining me on this adventure. And again, I really want to see what you guys are working through as well. Thanks.